You know what? Monday, November 24th could end up being absolutely legendary for XRP spot trading, and I'm not throwing that word around lightly. We've got Grayscale and Franklin Templeton both making their move into the spot market at the same time. So naturally, you're sitting there thinking, how is this going to impact my XRP position? But wait, there's more to this story. Could we already be witnessing some serious activity bubbling up in the futures market right now? All right, I'm going to piece this whole puzzle together for you so nothing catches you off guard. Monday XRP ETF acquisition projection. Check out what tomorrow's looking like based on these projections. Canary is expected to grab 5 million XRP. Bitwise is targeting 5 million XRP as well. Now here's where it gets interesting. Grayscale is going after a whopping 24 million XRP, and Franklin Templeton is shooting for 15 million XRP. When you total everything up, we're staring at 50 million XRP getting pulled out of the market tomorrow. Hold up, what? Yeah, that's genuinely wild when you actually process those numbers. And listen, I understand why everyone's confused about the dates right now. Franklin Templeton already kicked things off on SIBO back on the 18th, so people are naturally wondering, okay then, what exactly is happening on the 24th? Let me untangle this mess for you. I actually had to fact-check Perplexity myself because even the AI bungled this one. Thank goodness I'm staying sharp and paying close attention. It fed me some data and my brain immediately went, nope, that's definitely incorrect. And to its credit, Perplexity came back with, you're spot on for catching that. Here's what's actually going on. Franklin XRP ETF EZ XRP from Franklin Templeton launched and began trading on CBOE BZX on Tuesday, November 18th. Separately, the New York Stock Exchange Acura has approved both Franklin Templeton EZ XRP and Grayscale's GXRP Spot XRP ETF, with trading for both expected being on Monday, November 24th. So let's talk scale for a second. SIBO, that's operating in the billions. Decent, but not exactly massive. Now flip over to the New York Stock Exchange and you're looking at around $30 trillion. That's not a typo. The difference in market access between those two? It's absolutely enormous. And here's what I'm expecting. We're probably going to see some explosive trading days as we cruise into Thanksgiving week. But here's the catch, and don't forget this part. Markets are going to be shut down on Thanksgiving Day itself. Why? Because we've left the crypto world behind, where everything runs 24/7, never sleeps, always open. We're playing in the stock market sandbox now. That means holiday closures are back on the table. So what happens with all this XRP action on Thanksgiving and Black Friday? Honestly, I have no clue yet, but I'm definitely not leaving you hanging. You'll get updates from me throughout the entire week. Vacation, not even on my radar. I'm planted right here at my desk, ready to break down everything as it happens, because staying ahead of this story is what drives me. I need us all to be prepared. So you can count on me to keep the updates coming your way. Now check this out. These amounts stem from the anticipated daily inflows. The new XRP spot ETFs, which are recently launched by these asset managers for Contact Tenary Capital's XRP ETF, has a record-breaking debut earlier this month, trading at almost $59 million on launch day and about $25 million XRP at $2.36. Fast forward to today, and XRP is sitting closer to $2.09. But that sparked a question in my mind. I got curious and wanted to explore Franklin Templeton's history a bit. Have they dipped their toes into other crypto ETFs before, or is this brand new territory for them? And if they have launched crypto products, what were the volumes looking like? So did some digging, and here's the scoop. Franklin Templeton only launched crypto spot ETFs to date. Ticker EZBC. Spot Bitcoin launched in January 11, 2024. No previously launched Franklin Templeton spot ETFs or other crypto assets. Bitcoin has been their one and only crypto play so far. That's why seeing them jump into XRP now feels like a genuinely big deal. And look, I'd put money on them adding more assets to their lineup eventually. Here's where the numbers get interesting. Typical launch date prices to load amidst $20 per share. That implies roughly tens of millions of dollars in first day trading volume. maybe $40 to $60 million. That's what the projections are suggesting we might see. Bitcoin's ETF launch gave us a template with similar figures. Could XRP hit those same benchmarks? Who really knows at this stage? Anyway, Stephen McClurg's been talking about price action, and I want you to hear what he's saying. Let's get right into his commentary. Listen to this. So when people talk about what drives price, it's really a function of two things. Bitcoin is easiest to explain because the function is, okay, what is its relationship to the dollar? And if more dollars are being printed versus a fixed supply of Bitcoin, then obviously Bitcoin goes up in price. The other major factor that's been a greater factor in the early years, and less of a factor now, but still a strong factor, is access to the ecosystem. So as more and more people are onboarded into having Bitcoin wallets and to use them, whether it's for savings or spending, you know that network effect actually causes the price to grow because more people are involved in that. It's no different than looking at the Swiss franc versus the US dollar. Singapore dollar, or whatever it is, has a smaller set of users, so it's not going to be quite as valuable. As more and more people own wallets, own Bitcoin, are onboarded, it'll have a massive effect. And over time that effect goes down, because a lot of large numbers kicks in and smaller percentage of people continue to be onboarded. Here's something wild that I think is flying completely under everyone's radar right now. About 55 million people hold Bitcoin today, maybe a bit more, maybe slightly less depending on recent market moves. But that's the rough count. But listen to where this is headed. We're going to see that number balloon to 100 million, 200 million, potentially even 500 million people within the next 5 to 10 years. Now take that growth trajectory and apply it to XRP, HBR, XLM, and whatever tokens you're backing. Assuming the technology stands the test of time over the next decade, we're looking at an absolute flood of new participants, tens of millions at minimum, but ideally hundreds of millions pouring into crypto. And what happens then? Popularity skyrockets, demand intensifies, and the available supply gets tighter and tighter. This is precisely why I'm not chasing quick wins here. I'm positioned for the long haul. Remember, we still don't even have clear regulatory frameworks in place across the United States for mainstream companies to dive in. But the second those regulations land, and companies get the all clear, they're going to start bundling crypto features directly into products their customers already trust and use daily. That's the real onboarding strategy, not convincing people to sign up for exchanges. Imagine waking up one random morning, grabbing your phone, and finding a software update waiting. You install it, and just like that, there's a native crypto wallet sitting on your iPhone or Android, where literally anyone, anywhere, can instantly send you Bitcoin, XRP, or stablecoins. That moment, that's the tipping point we're building toward. You'd have to be living under a rock to think Apple and Android aren't balls deep in this technology right now. And that's just scratching the surface. Think about where you spend your money every week. Hitting up Walmart for groceries, browsing Target on your lunch break. Every single one of these retail giants is quietly building out their crypto infrastructure, while you're scanning items at checkout. Banks are in the game. Big finance, already moving. Your credit union, where you got your first car loan? Yeah, they're plotting their entry too. Corporate America across the board is figuring this out. And honestly, even that tiny bakery your grandma loves